Hey guys, so the myth that we're going to look at today is that sound affects the way that food tastes. All right, and they explain this by sonic seasoning, which says that low-pitched sounds make your food taste more bitter and high-pitched sounds make it taste sweeter. And they boil it down to synesthesia, basically, which is when your senses kind of overlap, like hearing colors and tasting shapes and seeing smells. So that's kind of what they trigger this down to, is like hearing tastes. So we're going to test it. Let's see. All right, so for this experiment, we're going to do something similar to what the cross-model laboratory at Oxford University did, where they had a group of students drink coffee and listen to the high frequency and low frequency sounds and rate the coffee from sweet to bitter. All right, so I'm gonna drink this and listen to a high frequency sound, and I'll do it listening to a low frequency sound, see if it affects the taste at all. But let me do it without any sound first. Tastes normal, got both sweetness and bitterness there because it's a latte. Personally, guys, I really didn't notice that much of a difference. I mean, it was a little bit sweeter, it seemed like, when I was listening to the high frequency pitch, but when I listened to the low frequency, it tasted pretty much the same. So I'm gonna say that this myth is busted. So I'm not too surprised by these results. I didn't have very high hopes for this myth in the first place, because when I was looking at synesthesia, which was the primary explanation for, hearing taste, it talked a lot more about associating non-tangible things with like colors or sounds. Like, say Tuesday is blue and blue sounds like violins, or whatever the case may be. And it also stated that, there's some substances that can cause temporary synesthesia, like psychedelic drugs and cannabis, alcohol, caffeine. And with coffee, especially, caffeine's a huge part of that. And, maybe there's people that do think, oh, these low frequency sounds are making it more bitter, or this white background noise is just making it taste more bland. But whatever the case may be, the myth is busted. I don't think that when somebody consumes something, a sound will change the taste of it. Maybe it's more of you're focusing on the sound rather than the taste. And when you're focusing on something else, you don't notice the taste as much. I think that's more of what's happening. But try it yourself. You never know. Just look up sonic seasoning. I also wanted to mention another study that I found interesting when I was doing my research was this one that the chemosensory perception looked at, and they wanted to match pitches and instruments to odors, because smell and taste go hand in hand a lot of the time. And they found that, the aromas of like candied peels and fruits and flowers were mainly matched with piano instead of like woodwind, strings, or brass, and more of the musky, manly, kind of foresty smells were associated with brass instruments like trumpets or French horns, things like that, which I found interesting because, I don't know, I can kind of see it. When you smell something flowery, you think it's kind of girly and bright, and typically pianos, especially in major keys, indicate that kind of feel. And with a forest, it's musky, you smell the dirt and humidity. And with brass instruments, I don't know, they're more of a harder sounds, they're more definite, They're not light and flowy like the piano can be. And I just found that really interesting. Just wanted to mention it.